Well, it's Halloween week here in Oklahoma, so the best possible place to be is the Museum of Osteology, the home of the bones here in South Oklahoma City. I'm joined by Ashley. You are the Education and Outreach, what's your title again?
Director of Education and Operations.
Director of Education and Operations. Well, thank you so much for joining us. So I don't know if you can tell, I'm a big Halloween person.
You don't wear this every day?
No, this is not my regular uniform, but it's Halloween week, so we got to go all out.
Yep.
Are you a big Halloween person?
Not necessarily a big Halloween person. I really do enjoy it. I'd say it's in my top two favorite holidays, though. Some people say it's almost like Halloween every day here.
Absolutely. Well, what is Halloween like here at the Museum of Osteology? I know you guys have some different hours, some programming.
Yes, October is a really exciting month. I think it's because we are a museum of skeletons. People have skeletons on the brain in October, so they often want to come visit, and it's a perfect time because we have all different types of events for the month of October, everything from art classes, DIY classes, to owl pellet dissections with kids and families, and then we have our adult evening forensics classes, and then also this month happens to be full of weddings. We have a wedding every single weekend here.
Okay.
But during the evenings, it would either be weddings or adult forensics night classes, which is one of the most popular events that we offer at the museum. We don't just have it in October, we have it every month of the year. We do have a lot of them in February for Valentine's Day, and then in October for Halloween.
So the forensic nights, I guess, what is a forensic night exactly? Can you take us through that?
So a forensics night is a hands-on investigation. So we have a lot of guests coming that are familiar with crime shows. They watch CSI or Bones, the TV show, which we've actually provided specimens for those TV shows that I just named. A lot of people don't realize. Yeah, so if you've seen some of those, you've probably seen some of our skulls before. But in the class, we actually, through hands-on investigation, teach guests how to be a forensic anthropologist. So how to analyze the different markings on bone to figure out what may have happened to a person.
Okay.
So this information could be applied not just to human, but also to animals throughout the museum during a visit. But it's a great hands-on investigation activity, and people love to do it with friends or partners. Groups of friends come out and do it. So that's why I think it's one of the most popular events that we have.
Yes. So how do you select your victims here?
So these are our cases. So every group is assigned a specific case, and through our instruction, a presentation, and then through group work, they're able to solve the case. So you don't have to have any knowledge ahead of time. There's no prerequisites. We teach you everything you need to know to be able to solve your case. So some of the various information someone might be collecting is we would do a general age estimation of our subjects. We try to figure out how old they are. This will be really helpful to figuring out more about our subjects.
So you can tell a person's age by their bones?
Yes, so just as a forensic anthropologist, especially trained to make an age estimation, we can teach our guests how to do a general age estimation and then more specifically. So we use the teeth to do this in part, as well as the different lines on the skulls. These are actually joints called sutures.
Oh, so this is a joint.
Yeah, so there's actually 206 bones in the human skeleton, but did you know that about 24 of them are just in the human skull alone?
Interesting.
So the points where they meet together are called sutures, which are the joints, but basically the more fused they are, the longer someone's been alive, the more open they are, the younger the person is. So that's where we're able to construct an age profile on a person.
Interesting. Honestly, I would have just guessed that the skull was one bone. You know, I'm just a layman.
It's many different bones, and that's something that you'd learn in the class, and we would teach everyone. So like I said, no prerequisite knowledge is necessary. In addition to age estimations, we teach you how to do a sex estimation. So given the totality of the facial features, we're able to do a sex estimation, and that helps us also get closer to an ID on the person, figure out as much as we can about them, and then ultimately we'll be analyzing trauma signatures. So we'll be trying to figure out what the cause of death was. So a lot of people, they see these skulls and they immediately worry like, oh, is this a real skull? Am I going to damage it by touching it? These are actually copies of skulls from real cases. So real homicides, real accidental deaths, these are the exact copies of those cases. So throughout the class, we teach you how to collect all of the data as a group, and then we teach you how to basically present this information to figure out if you solve the case or not.
Right. Do you recreate the cases, or do you make new cases to match the
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's about 10 cases to choose from. They're assigned to a guest when they come in, but if you have visited previously, we can always assign you a different case. After you finish these cases, there is a part 2, which is forensic pathology night. So instead of just looking at trauma signatures, we also look at diseases. So looking at what conditions affect bone. Not all of them affect bone, but a lot of them leave very specific signatures. Maybe the bone is too thick, too thin, too porous, or has lesions on it. That could all be signs of an underlying disease or condition.
Very interesting. I'm learning all about bones today. Are the Halloween forensic nights any different from the ones that you have throughout the year?
Some of them do have a complimentary beverage, adult beverage associated with them, and then sometimes we do special snacks and treats. But all the forensics nights we do provide some like light beverages and snacks too, because of the time of the event. It's always 6:30 to about 8:30 p.m. So we know that that's either before dinner plans or so we always provide some snacks and during Halloween there's just special treats for the holiday. But all of the forensics nights start out with an hour of private gallery viewing time that's just optional. So from 5:30 to 6:30, guests can just enjoy the museum with their friends and not have come with the general public. We also do a gift shop discount during that time, which is really popular because we have an incredible gift store. Fossils, minerals, books, real skulls and bone specimens people purchase. So then the event starts at 6:30. We do the presentation, go over very specific information to collect, and then the rest of the time the groups are working individually to solve the case, collect the information, and then at the very end we do a presentation.
Would you say that skeletons, are they as spooky as we make them out to be?
No, not at all. And that's not really, I think once guests come to the museum, they realize like this is more like a celebration of animals and zoology, and it's kind of like visiting the zoo. You're just learning animal facts the whole time.
It is like visiting the zoo, yes. The zoo graveyard, perhaps.
But you're just learning new facts about animals. So I think that's how we approached it. So once we're focused on, we're looking at the human skull, sometimes this is guests' first time seeing what a human skull looks like because they've never seen their own anatomy. We're just not even familiar with what the human skull looks like. So we explain, how many teeth would a person have on average, the different bones of the skull, like you mentioned. We have over 24 bones just in the human skull alone. So we go over that basic information. So I hope that, by the time someone gets into the class, there's nothing to be nervous about, nothing spooky at all. We approach it totally from an educational perspective, and it turns out that people are completely fascinated with the subject.
It is fascinating.
Like they didn't even know that they were interested, and then they leave and they're like, wow, this is like so cool. I never had the idea of like thinking about the skeletal structure, how many things we have in common with animals, or all the variations.
They are the reason we look the way we look, Would you say, are these skeletons kept in the closet?
We knew the bone pun was coming.
Yes,
I didn't know
they were coming. You knew that.
We have a lot of skeletons in the closet.
Okay. And on display.
These are actually kept in the education collection in our classroom. We have many different classes that we teach. This is only one of about 17 different programs that we teach here at the museum.
Yes. Now the forensic nights, those go on throughout the year. How can people sign up for that if they're interested?
Oh yeah, all of them are available on our website under upcoming events. We have all of the dates listed, and we do also stay very active on social media like Facebook, listing every single event. So say the website is the best resource, but we do put all the information out on our various social media accounts if you wanted to check it out.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about the field trips that go on, because I know you've got kids and young learners, even some old learners coming in throughout the year. So tell me about that.
Sure. We host field trips pretty much every day, especially in the month of October. Every single day we're doing hands-on classes upstairs in the classroom. We teach classes for pre-kindergartners all the way up to college level, and we do a lot of adult programming as well, and even senior groups too, coming to the museum every day.
So we've got all these bones gathered around us. I know they've each got a story. How did all these bones come to be here? Who can we thank for that?
This is the private collection of Jay Villamoret, so we could definitely thank him for that. He started collecting skulls when he was 7 years old. Wow. So he's been a lifelong skull collector, and it was his passion that led him to collect so many specimens for people to learn about. So it was his dream to be able to open up a museum of osteology where people could come and learn about all the animals that live today.
And again, osteology is, so what is that just the study of bones?
Yes, it's just the Greek word for bone, osteo,
Okay.
and of course ology means the study of. So this museum, Museum of Osteology, is dedicated to the study of bones, skulls, and skeletons from all different animals. Guests will notice the types of species that we have are modern. So here you won't find any dinosaur skeletons, but instead you'll see a humpback whale skeleton, or a giraffe skeleton, or an elephant.
Yeah, and they make quite an impression.
They do. We actually encourage guests to touch the specimens. So a lot of people are surprised about that. When they come in, they tell the kids, oh, don't be sure not to touch anything. We said, no, we don't want the opposite of that.
Because you always hear about, oh, don't touch the dinosaur bones.
No, they are allowed and encouraged to touch. So we think that that's part of the learning process, is the very tactile experience, so the kids can actually feel the bones on the Nile crocodile's back. We encourage them to sit on the back of the Nile crocodile that you have on the first floor. We encourage them to touch the leg bones of the giraffe, or to touch the tusk of the elephant, so they can feel the ivory.
Right. Now, is there truth to the rumor that they all come alive after the museum closes?
That I cannot tell you. I cannot reveal our secrets.
I know they've all got stories. Now, Ashley, I said I would ask this. What is your favorite? Do you have a favorite here in the museum? There's so much to choose from.
Yes, there is so many skeletons. There's about 800 specimens in this room with us to choose from. But I have to say, one of my favorites is the one that's on my business card, which is the Komodo dragon skeleton.
Okay.
We have an adult male Komodo dragon skeleton on the
where
second
is that?
floor, on the second level with the
on the second
reptile
level.
exhibit. And it's probably my favorite because it is the largest venomous reptile that lives today. They can get up to 10 feet in length, and I do find them fascinating. But they also, this specimen that we have, it kind of just highlights for me what makes every single animal in the museum unique, which is the fact that they all had a story before they came to us. These are real skeletons from once living animals. They're all donated to us from animals who lived at zoos, nature preserves, sanctuaries, and aquariums. That one has a really particularly interesting story. It was actually gifted from the president of Indonesia to the president of the United States at the time, which was George Bush Sr. So to legally import the animal, it had to be declared a presidential gift from one president to another to bring it into the country. So that's just one little aspect of the story of the animal. So by featuring them on display and having, so many guests come and see them and learn about them every day, we're trying to give them a second life as an animal ambassador, because in life they were animal ambassadors. Now in death they can even be animal ambassadors.
Yeah, and what a great gift, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, Ashley, it's been a pleasure. Forensic Nights, you can still sign up for the one this week, or you can sign up for any of them going on throughout the year. Ashley, thank you so much for joining us
It's
today.
my pleasure. Thank you.